Hello, my name is Jonathan Mears and I'm delighted to be part of the Scottish Silly Squad, supporting Scottish libraries and this year's Summer Reading Challenge. Although, having said that, I am slightly insulted to have been asked because I don't particularly consider myself silly. I'm in fact very, very serious, very, very posh, very, very famous author. Not particularly silly. You may know me from such best-selling titles as The Complete History of 16th Century Bulgarian Chair Making and Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Cheese. That's two separate books, by the way, not one book. That would be ridiculous. I've also written loads, and I've written about 35, 40 different books, mainly for children and young people, such as your good selves, written for all kinds of ages, all styles, all genres. I've even written picture books for Ickle Baba's little picture books. Aww. And my picture books are all about Ickle Fluffy Bunny Bunnies. Yes, they are. Ickle Fluffy Bunny Bunnies, yeah, that die in a series of bizarre accidents. I'll give you an example. One day, the Ickle Fluffy Bunny Bunnies were hopping through Bunnytown, and they all got run over by a train. They didn't really. It was actually a lorry. Not really. It was a bus. Teachers, grown-ups, adults, I can assure you, no bunnies were harmed during the writing of any of my books. So actually, all that stuff at the beginning, I'm not actually that famous or serious or even that. I'm a little bit posh, but I suppose if I'm vaguely known for one particular book or one particular series of books, I'm just a teensy little bit known for a series of books called The World of Norm, and I'll be talking a little bit about The World of Norm in more detail later, and more specifically how I chose to begin each of my World of Norm books. But I thought I'd start by giving you guys the opportunity to ask me a few questions. So here we go. Fire away. I'm all ears. Oh, I've just realised you can't actually do that because I'm here in my office in Edinburgh and you're wherever I don't know where you are, frankly, you're all over the place. But I'm so used to sort of performing in school halls and literary festivals and theatres and a few hundred kids and firing questions at me. I just had a little senior moment there. So why don't I instead, I'll tell you what, these are some of the questions that I get asked most frequently. What car have you got? Got a blue one. What football team do you support? I support a team called Nottingham Forest because I'm from a place called Nottingham in England, and they used to be brilliant, but they're a bit rubbish now. Are you rich? Well, it depends. Depends what you mean by rich. Do you mean financially rich, or hey kids, do you mean like spiritually rich? Okay. Either way, I'm absolutely bankrupt. Completely skint, either way you look at it. Oh yeah. When did you start writing? About 8:30. About 8:30. See, when did I start writing? 8:30. Oh yeah. Where'd you get your ideas? Where'd you get your ideas from? I get my ideas from a friend of mine who lives in Liverpool. It's called Barry. Barry from Liverpool. And I say, Barry, I need some ideas. And he sends him some ideas. That's where I get my ideas from. Another frequently asked question. What would you like to be? I don't know why I'm putting my hand up. What would you like to be if you weren't an author? And if I wasn't an author, I'd like to be a squirrel. And then the most frequently asked question probably, what inspired you to become an author? And basically everything, my life, everything has inspired me. Everything has inspired me. What do you mean everything? Can you be a bit more specific, please? I can't be more specific. It's like everything I've ever done, everything I've ever read or heard or listened to, or every person I've ever met, every place I've ever been to, every bit of stuff that I've ever done has I so wish I so wish there was one like snappy answer. So they go, excuse me, what inspired you to become an author? And I go, hey, cheese. But frankly, there isn't one answer. It's a great question. So these are some of the most frequently asked questions that I get asked. But after the break, what do you mean? What do you mean, what break? You haven't actually done anything yet. I'm going to switch off and then switch back on again. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about my series, The World of Norm. So, don't go away. Hello, it's me again, obviously. But this time, I'm standing up. Look, I'm standing up. And also, I have my guitar. Because what I thought I would do, by way of introducing the world of Norm, some of you may already be familiar with my Norm books, but I'm going to assume that most of you are not. And there is a particular way that I chose to begin every single one of my world of Norm books. And rather than simply read the beginning of one of the books, I thought it'd be a bit more fun, as this is all part of the, where are we? Yes, the Scottish Silly Squad, part of the Summer Reading Challenge. Oh yes. As it's part of the Scottish Silly Squad, I thought it would be a bit silly and a bit fun. Instead of simply reading the start of a book, I would sing to you the beginning of the first two World of Norm books. First of all, the World of Norm may contain nuts, and second of all, the World of Norm may cause irritation. So here we go, with the very beginning, with the very first World of Norm book. Goes something like this. Norm knew it was gonna be one of those days when he woke up and found himself about to pee. In his dad's wardrobe. Oh yeah. Oh, in his dad's wardrobe. Stop, said his dad, what do you think you're doing? Having a pee, said Norm. Like this was somehow the most stupid question in the entire history of stupid questions. Not in my wardrobe, you're not, said his dad. It's from IKEA, said his mum. Like it was somehow okay to pee in a wardrobe that wasn't from IKEA. The world of Norm, where everything's unfair. Yes, it is. The world of Norm, the world of Norm. Does anybody care? The world of Norm. Is anybody there? So that was the start of the first book. Here's the start of book two. Here we go. Norm knew it was gonna be one of those days when he woke up and found himself standing at a supermarket checkout queue, totally naked, totally nude. How very rude. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, very rude. Stop, said the checkout assistant, you can't do that. What, said Norm, stand naked in a supermarket checkout queue. No, said the checkout assistant, what I meant was you've got 10 items in your basket. This is 9 items or less. Whoa, 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 whoa. The world of Norm, where everything's unfair. The world of Norm, the world of Norm. Does anybody care? Does anybody care? The world of Norm. anybody there? Anybody there? I thank you. So there we have it. The beginning of not one, but two of my World of Norm book series. And when we come back in a minute, I'm going to talk a little bit more seriously perhaps, about the World of Norm and about why I chose to begin the book in the way that I did. So, we'll be back after this break. And we're back in the room. And you now know how the first two World of Norm books begin. Norm knew it was going to be one of those days when ... If you are familiar with the series, if you've read one or two or more than two of my Norm books, you will know that in fact every single Norm book, and that's 12 books in total, 12 books in the series, every single World of Norm book begins, Norm knew it was going to be one of those days when, in the case of the first book, The World of Norm May Contain Nuts, when he woke up and found himself about to pee in his dad's wardrobe. Second one, when he woke up in a supermarket, found himself standing at the checkout, totally naked. Here's the third book in the series, The World of Norm May Produce Gas. Let's see how this one begins. Norm knew it was going to be one of those days when he woke up and got blamed for global warming. One more. Here's the fourth book in the series, The World of Norm May Require Batteries. This one begins. Norm knew it was going to be one of those days when he got out of bed and trod on something he shouldn't have. What does the beginning of a book need to do? Well, I'll tell you. It needs to grab the reader's attention. It needs to hook the reader. And once you've hooked the reader, once you've grabbed the reader's attention, you need to keep the reader's attention hooked. You need to keep the reader grabbed. Now, different writers choose to do this in different ways. You might be a fan of mystery books or adventure books or spy books or science fiction books, any number of different styles and genres. We're all into different kinds of things, and that's just fine. Myself, I come from a background of writing comedy for TV and for radio, and actually being a stand-up comedian. Comedy and humour is kind of in my blood. So when I come to write a book, it's in my nature to be funny, or at least to try and be funny. Not everybody finds it funny. Not everybody is into humour. Not everybody has the same kind of humour. But when I came to write the first World of Norm book, wasn't the first book I'd ever written. I'd had about 12 other books published by the time I came up with the idea of the first World of Norm book. I had no idea there would end up being 12. I chose to be a little bit shocking, I suppose. I wanted to make an impact with that first line. And very often people say, oh yeah, World of Norm, I love it when he's peeing in his dad's wardrobe. Sometimes it's the only thing that anybody ever remembers about the series. But hey, it's better than not remembering it at all, isn't it? So, and if it possibly leads to reading another and another and another, hooking the reader, engaging the reader, getting to read more and more and more and more and more, well, job done as far as I'm concerned. So I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to grab the reader. I wanted to keep that reader grabbed. So now, as part of the Scottish Silly Squad, this year's reading challenge, I am going to issue you guys with a mission, with your own personal challenge. Using the hashtag Scottish Silly Squad, I want you to write the opening sentence of a piece of writing, opening sentence of a book, if you like. It doesn't necessarily have to be a book, of course. I want you to write the opening sentence of something, and bear in mind, whoever is reading it, you want that person to sit up and go, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Hopefully make them laugh, because we are talking about humour. It's part of this year's summer reading challenge. This is the Scottish Silly Squad. So we are talking humour. We are talking comedy. I want you to write the opening sentence of a piece of writing, and I want you to use the same template, the same model that I use in all my Norm books. All the Norm books, here they are. Norm knew it was going to be one of those days when ... Of course, you don't need to use the name Norm. You can use your own name. Billy knew it was Billy. That's a whatever your own name is. So and so knew it was going to be one of those days when make up a name. Make up a name of a character in your book. So and so knew it was going to be one of those days when ... Make the rest of that sentence, make the end of that sentence as funny as you can, as fantastical as you can. Is fantastical even a word? It can be crazy, it can be hilarious, it can be wild, it can be imaginative. Make an impact with the rest of that sentence. Insert name here. So and so knew it was going to be one of those days when ... Just one sentence, but make an impact. Grab your reader, hook your reader, and keep them hooked. And using the hashtag Scottish Silly Squad, share the results online. Is that clear? I'll be back in a minute. I'll probably mention it again. Any questions? Good? No? Marvellous. Carry on. Hair looking good. No bogies hanging down. Oh, sorry. Didn't realise we were filming. We can edit that out later. So, for this last bit, we've talked a little bit, well, I've talked a little bit about the beginning of a book, what the beginning of a book has to do. Grab the reader, engage the reader. But of course, that's only part of the job, part of my job as a writer, to engage you, the reader, and to keep you grabbed, to keep you hooked, hopefully. And the way I do that is through humour, which I personally think is very important and sometimes overlooked and a little bit underrated, although that's possibly me being just a little bit controversial. But the world of Norm, which later became a 12-book series and published all over the world, the world of Norm is about a nearly 13-year-old boy called Norm. Norm, short for Norman, but also short for normal. And that's the whole point of my Norm books. It's all about normal everyday characters doing normal everyday stuff. You might say, well, there's no such thing as normal, especially in these unprecedented times. And you'd be right, there is no such thing as normal. We've all got our own definitions of what's normal. What's normal to one person may not be normal to another. But I tried, in my capacity as a humble author, to make Norm and the rest of the characters in the world of Norm as normal as possible. Norm is nearly 13. He has two really annoying little brothers, one called Brian, the other called Dave. They're aged 10 and 7. And to Norm, everything is just so unfair. Or as Norm would say, so flipping unfair. And in the world of Norm, I only ever write about stuff that can actually happen in real life. So there are no dragons or vampires or wizards or unicorns in the world of Norm. I only ever write about stuff that can actually happen in the real world. And so, before I go, I'd just like to sing another little song, which I normally do as part of my live events. And hopefully, by the way, in the not too distant future, I'll get to see some of you guys in the flesh, as opposed to down the end of a phone. Start doing school visits and stuff, come and see the whites of your eyes and engage with you and hopefully have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a chin wag. This is a song that I use to close my events when I'm talking about the world of Norm. It does require a little bit of audience participation. I needed to shout out the word abso-flipping-lutely when we get to the chorus, but if you don't feel like doing that, if you feel a little bit shy because you're just in your bedroom alone watching this, just sit back and relax and hopefully enjoy the song. So I'm going to have a little word about the Scottish Silly Squad Summer Reading Challenge after the song. In the meantime, here's a song that kind of sums up what it's like to be Norm. It's a song about, well, imagine you're having the worst day in your life. Just remember, there's always somebody out there having an even worse day. And the song goes something like this. stuck in between, and now the world stopped revolving around him, and nothing will ever astound him again. If you feel a bit hard done by, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If sympathy's in short supply, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If you feel fresh out of luck, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If your world just came unstuck, sing abso-flipping-lutely. Second verse. If you think your day can't get much worse, there's someone in the universe who knows exactly what you're going through, except times by 1,000,002 is nearly 13. Stuck in between, don't bother asking about the weather, 'cause he'll be like, yeah, whatever. If you feel a bit hard done by, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If sympathy's in short supply, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If you feel fresh out of luck, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If your world just came unstuck, sing abso-flipping-lutely. Trumpet solo. Is nearly 13. Stuck in between, and now he just can't quite understand it. It's not quite the way he planned it. The way he planned it. Here we go, one last time, silly squatters. If you feel a bit hard done by, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If sympathy's in short supply, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If you feel fresh out of luck, sing abso-flipping-lutely. If your world just came unstuck, sing abso-flipping-lutely. Abso-flipping-lutely. I thank you so much. I do hope you've enjoyed watching me waffling and talking, on the whole, complete nonsense to you. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that I almost messed up the words, the first verse of that song, a song that I've probably sung about 500 times. I also had to click my laptop just towards the end because the screen timed out, because there's something very important I've got to tell you, and you'll forgive me. I'm going to read this, but do not forget to sign up to the challenge, to the hashtag Scottish Silly Squad challenge. Details of how to do so will follow this momentous broadcast. And remember, your library building may be closed, but there are lots of Silly Squad librarians on hand to support you through this year's challenge. So get in touch with your local library. Don't forget the hashtag Scottish Silly Squad. Don't forget your challenge. So-and-so knew it was going to be one of those days when ... Enjoy what's enjoy, I'm not starting again, it's been too long. Enjoy what's left of this rather strange and unconventional summer. Happy reading, read, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.